joining us. It is a great day to be alive. Why don't you just go ahead and give God praise because you've been praying, you've been fasting, and guess what? It's about to happen. It's about to manifest. 2020 is yet going to be your best year. Go ahead and declare that I'm going to finish this year strong. And how are you going to do that? On purpose. Yep, on purpose. My guest on today, Mr. Know Your Word from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. One of my wonderful frat brothers, Aaron Jordan, is here with us, and he's going to share with you how it's time for you to walk divinely in your purpose. Why don't you just join me and welcome him to the Tammie Tubbs Show. Welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome
Thanks
back.
for having me.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Probably what, about 5 years?
It
6
has.
years? Yeah.
5 to 6 years, and God has enlarged your territory beyond words. You don't have the hair like you did before.
I don't. I got a few gray hairs in my beard, and I'm bald.
Yeah,
So
with lots of wisdom. With lots of wisdom.
Lots of wisdom.
I love it. Mr. Know Your Worth has traveled abroad, and let's just go back for those that are watching that don't know your story. How did it all start?
Well, just like everyone, they have a story. We have trials and tribulations that we go through in our life. And, no different than anyone else. But the thing is that I tell people that your story is not meant for you. It's meant to empower and touch and inspire others.
Yes.
So going through those tumultuous times 8, 9, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, as a matter of fact, I was at one of my lowest points in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where I wanted to end it all, and when we get to that point at our lowest point in life, that's when God comes in and uses us.
Why were you in that low point? What had occurred to the place where Aaron, the guy that we know that's full of life and energy, literally was like, I'm out of here. I don't want this anymore. What happened?
Well, the Aaron that you see now was not the Aaron back then.
Absolutely.
I was actually the one trying to find myself. I was one of the ones that actually needed the validation of love. I needed to actually feel it. I need to have it reciprocated to me. And a lot of people don't understand the power of that word.
Yeah.
When you're giving out love, and you're giving out the expression of love, and you don't have it reciprocated back to you, it puts you in a mindset of, what is my value here? What is my worth? And so I was in that point where I was going through a lot of things in my life. A lot of people, I tell my story all the time: 3 rings, 3 engagements.
Wow.
And that was all within an 18-month period. So you can understand the psyche
of
where my mindset was. And so just really searching for love, but not searching for the love within myself.
Right. And it's amazing that you're able to be transparent because a lot of times in relationships, we try to hush, but you've come to the point in life, I need to be transparent to be able to help someone else. So here we are today. Not only are you Mr. Know Your Worth, of course, best-selling author, life coach, but you have your own television show.
Yes, I do.
So I want to start off and share that because you're going to make life easy for me today. And I just thank God for you. I really do. I do. Because one of the things that I've learned when you are a host and you're on the opposite side, you're just like, what are they going to ask? What are they going to say? So I'm going to make life easy for you. So sit back, kick your heels up and relax. You're at home. So how did that leap of faith? Did God just say, voila? Or did you have to say, you know what, this is something I've dreamed of and I want to do?
Well, it was one of those moments where I was in radio, from live radio in Nashville. I had my own live radio show from 2014 to 2017. And so it was called the Know Your Worth radio show. And I was giving out inspiration, and I had people on, and we was giving out motivational nuggets, telling a story and things like that. And of course, they called me a relationship guy. So I had asked Jordan moments where I was giving out relationship advice, and it was coming from a very unbiased standpoint. And I'm very unbiased when it comes to that topic. And so one of my colleagues said, hey, have you ever thought about going in TV? I said, no. I'm good behind the scenes with radio.
Sound like me. They can't see you but they can hear you, but they can't see our expressions and all the things we're doing. But television, you have to have it.
Oh yeah, you got to be crisp. But but with me, is that when I do interviews, or I've been on national interviews and regional national interviews too as well. And it's like my personality, my voice projects, and so it's like, okay, well, you need to be on TV.
Yep.
Good God.
Yes.
George Jordan's son need to be on TV. And so it was one of those things where in 2016 I came up with an idea. It was called Know Your Worth Live with Aaron Jordan. And so I was going through going through the thoughts and the manifestation of that, getting everything prepared, had sponsors and things of that nature, had a studio where I can shoot and put together a pilot.
Right.
But all of a sudden, the timing wasn't right.
Yeah. It's nothing like God's timing.
It's nothing like God's timing. And so the timing wasn't right, and everything fell through. I had to return sponsorships and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I had to return investments to partners. And so that was another lowest point in my life too, because it was a thought that I had manifested. I'm like, okay, it's going to come to life.
Right.
And so it was at one point while I was watching this show on Netflix. It was called Cars, Coffee, and Conversation. And I said, okay, well, I like coffee, and I'm like, okay, well, and relationships and inspiration and things like that is a hot topic right now. But I wanted to be authentic.
Yeah.
That's the difference, because, a lot of times when you see a lot of shows about relationships and dating, it's a lot of drama. It's a lot of nitpicking and things like that. But I wanted something where I can actually be authentic and where people actually see the authenticity in the story of others. And so I came up with a concept called Cafe Conversations with Mr.Know. We shot a pilot last year. 2019. Shot up, and I didn't go to no TV station or anything. Just shot a pilot. I was gonna put it on social media. But come to find out, there was a GM from a station from Christian Television Network in Mount Juliet was connected with me on social media. And so she's been following me for quite some time. And I took the idea to her.
Wow.
And she was like,
love it.
And so from that point on, I got in contact. She introduced me to the production team because I thought it was finna fall through again, because she said the production at the station was not available.
Right.
And so she said, okay, well, I got a guy. His name is, he's over B4 Entertainment. His name is Ricky Burchell. And I want to introduce you to him. He'll be able to shoot it for you. He worked with us at the station before. As soon as we met, we hit it off. And so now, after about 15, 20 shows aired on cable, TV, now we're in pitching.
Amen.
Pitching, I can't talk anymore on that.
Of course, I know, you saw me wink my eyes like, all right, cameras are rolling. And I'm just tickled because you were, like you said, at one of your lowest points. You had a plan.
Yeah.
It fell through. Okay, now you're watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Like we all do. We binge watching. Netflix will get you every time.
Netflix will get you every time.
It will either stir something up within you to do something greater, or you'll just sit there, eat ice cream, and get fatter. I'm just going to be honest.
Be honest.
And so you're watching this episode, Coffee Cafe, and all of a sudden, voila, God is saying, move. You do it in faith. Yeah. And now.
It was the point where I took the jump, and I shared it with my wife, and it was one of those things where she already know I'm one of the ones that, like, if I have an idea, I want to talk about it, I want to implement, I want to execute it right then and there without all the back stuff working in. Right. I don't have a plan for the back end stuff. I just want to jump out there and get it done. But with this one, with this particular idea, it was one of those ones that was real smooth. It was from the point of people that I called to, hey, I'm shooting a pilot, pitch an idea for a show, want you to come on and be a part.
Right.
And, and then just after that, I'm real big on social media. I'm real big on building a buzz, building a brand. So before I do anything, I'll get a logo, I get a teaser video, I'll put it out there, and I'll get the response back from the social media world.
Absolutely.
Because now a lot of times people, they go and get their metrics or their numbers from social media.
Absolutely.
And so it caught a buzz, and here we are.
And that's the thing about social media. They're going to love it or hate it.
They'll let you know.
I mean, it's like, why is it? Or, some will put it out there on your page and some will inbox you, or if it's on Instagram in the DM, you're like.
Exactly.
And sometimes they do give kind of great advice.
They do give great feedback.
God can use whomever to help enhance your project or whatever you're doing. But I'm so grateful that you jumped.
Yeah.
That God is expanding. But I got to jump right into what I have you here today, because there's some ladies that are watching us and they're just like, Tammie, make sure that you ask him this and make sure that you did. So I have a list, mentally Lord. A list for you. And so with you being he said, I'm ready. He's always ready. With being a relationship coach with you, and you've been in this for a while. The very first question, when I sent this to some of the females, I say, this is a guy, because, why does it take so long for a guy to recognize a woman's worth?
Just go straight for the gusto on that question.
That was the first question that was sent to me. That was the very first question. And she's probably right now has a notepad that's writing or typing, or she may be at work listening.
I don't think it's the fact of it takes them a long time to recognize. See, the thing with us men, what a lot of people don't understand is that it don't take us long to find out and know, okay, that's who I want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Or, nah, not right for me. We may not communicate it well.
Right.
But in our mind, we know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll give an example. Just like for my wife, we knew each other in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she is, as far as mentally and her personality and who she is, she's the exact same when she was 18 years old.
Wow.
And so me at 18, 19 years old was not ready for that mentality
mm-hmm.
or that type of woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that maturity level,
that type, and it wasn't really, it was me knowing that like, okay, I can't add value to you right now. Because of the simple fact that if we started this and really went depth, mm-hmm. I'll mess it up.
Absolutely.
And I almost did.
Wow.
And I almost did. And so it wasn't until I went through life and I went through experiences. I went through things that caused me to reshift my mental thinking.
Yeah.
7 years later, that's when we reconnect and we pop back into each other's lives.
Wow.
And so it's not, like I said, it's not to the point of us not knowing or it's taking so long.
Mm-hmm.
We already know, okay, I can't add value to you right
mm-hmm.
now. But if I'm kind of letting you know that I can't add value,
right.
but you're constantly pushing, I'm not going to turn it down.
Absolutely.
So it's the thing is that the signs are there, but it's all about if you're reading the signs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love how you put that because, mm-hmm. and then there are other times when they got to cut off other issues that you are avoiding right now, but it's okay. We read between the lines because we know that if I connect with you, mm-hmm. I'm not going to add value, but I'll be adding drama.
Exactly. And a lot of times people, what they do is, they see the signs early on, they ignore it, mm-hmm. but those signs are letting you know they're like, okay, this is for a season. I'm supposed to learn something in this season. But what we mess up at is we try to make that season permanent.
Right.
And we go all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter.
A cycle.
Next thing you know, it's like you're in a situation where you can't get out of.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 years of your life just passed by because you're trying to change a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a person is not going to really compromise and really be at a point where they're adding value to you
mm-hmm.
and reciprocating the value,
mm-hmm.
your time is being wasted.
Yeah. And at this point in life, time is precious.
Yeah.
You know, I read a post and I love how this pastor, I think it was Pastor Brand, mm-hmm. one of our fraternity brothers that passed away.
Okay.
And at the end of the post, he said, make every moment count.
Exactly.
Make every moment count. You have to seize the moment. And I said that to say, have there been times where you're life coaching or you're speaking mm-hmm. and upon your speaking, the questions are overwhelming you? What has been that one question that you see every time, where you go near or far, that one question that comes up is like, oh my goodness, if I could write a book about this question.
My goodness, yeah. Why can I find Mr. or Mrs. Right?
Did you know CTN has a Roku channel? That's right. You can now stream CTN content directly to your television without the need for cable or satellite. Simply add our channel to your Roku lineup and you're ready to go. We're streaming 24 hours a day to bring you the quality Christian programming you've come to expect from CTN. Look for CTN on Roku today.
The opportunity to serve a great people of the state of Mississippi and worldwide. It has been a wonderful, truthfully 5 years, and I thank you from the depths of my heart for being there, for showing your support and allowing guest after guest to come sit on my sofa to share their stories, their inspirational, and how God has healed, delivered, and set them free. I pray that we will continue to join forces because we are better together. Once again, from the Tammie Tubbs Show, we say thank you, and thank you.
go near or far. That one question that comes up is like, oh my goodness, if I could write a book about this
oh
question.
my goodness, yeah. Why can I find Mr. or Mrs. Right?
Wow.
That's the question I get every time.
But no one's perfect.
No one's perfect. I get it on social media. I get it when we was traveling and speaking. There'll be the one-off questions I get to the side. But the thing is that people, when you think about Mr. and Mrs. Right, you got to think about Mr. and Mrs. Right for you.
Right.
And the thing is that you have to be mentally prepared and in a position to receive it. Because oftentimes we use this ideology I always talk about, other people to mask our hurt.
Yeah.
And when you're using other people to mask your hurt, the person that's specifically designed for you can't see you because now you're hung up on this temporary fix.
Oh, that's good.
See,
that's
I'm
good.
I'm gonna let that fest.
Ooh,
I'm not gonna charge you for that
that's
one.
good. That's good. I might have to cash out for it. That's good. Oh, I love that.
But the thing is that, and then when we fall into that and that mindset, now you have emotions packed on emotions,
right?
Packed on emotions, and now you're constantly wondering, 3 years down the road, you're asking the same question. When instead you should have done the work, done the homework, done the mental work on yourself. Because the thing is, when we think we're ready to move on, the universe has a way of testing us. Universe meaning God, our creator, has a way of testing us and saying, okay, well, you think you're ready. You know, I know you're not ready, but you say you're ready. You say you're ready, so I'm going to test you. And then so the very same thing that you said that you was over, is dressed up differently than another person. You can't recognize it.
That's good.
You can't recognize it because you said you're over.
Right.
You're over it.
That's good.
But you spending your time with that person that's dressed up just like what you left previous.
Right.
But the only thing is it's gonna hurt 10 times worse.
And so you have to deal with those past hurts.
Yep.
Next question. I hear you. I can't call her name, but I hear you. Do men hurt?
Of course.
And how do they deal with that pain? Do they?
We're not taught to show our emotions. We're not taught to bear our emotions on our shoulders or bear our emotions on our sleeves. It's one of those things where, you know, us men, we're always taught to hold in our emotions, stand up, be strong. You're the leader of the family.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you see a lot of situations where you see situations in the news where it's a blow up situation, that's a point where it's things being held inside and we're not talking about it. And we're see, I don't know what it is in our culture is that you don't believe in talking to somebody. What happens in our house stays in our house. Yeah. But the thing is that messes up our mental psyche.
Absolutely.
And it causes us to blow up when certain things happen that pushes us over to the point. So that's why I believe in like mentors and someone that's with wisdom, especially for men, that can actually be in a position to just be that listening ear.
Right.
Be that listening ear to where you can actually release your pain, release your hurt. And then also somebody can give you sound advice about what you're releasing. You don't want no yes man. You don't want nobody to say, man, yeah, man, you should, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that means that person's hurting too.
Absolutely.
Well. So two hurt people trying to talk to each other.
A disaster.
It's going to be disastrous results.
Yeah. You need someone, as I said, to challenge you.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even if it hurts you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Love language.
Yeah.
Share some things about love language that I think sometimes that we as women be like, well, he should know my love language.
Yeah.
You know, no. and men have love languages as well.
Exactly.
It's not always the physical. Sometimes it's just, you know, absolutely nothing about football. I grew up with a bunch of guys. I have 3 brothers, so I had to learn sports. It wasn't an option. Even though you don't even know what a touchdown is.
Yeah.
You have no idea what 2-point conversion is. Just sit there quietly, looking cute with that jersey on.
Yes.
Don't even say that sometimes. Just that's all he needs, just your presence.
That's all it is.
And so it's important that we learn the love, just that quality time. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not so much of you buying and doing, just quality time. Shows me that you love me.
Exactly. And I'll share this, and she's gonna love this. But I'm gonna give my wife credit for this one. She's the one that actually taught me about love language.
Awesome.
And I didn't even, when I first started back in 2011, 2012, she had this book called by Gary Chapman.
Yes.
I didn't even know anything about it.
Yes.
And I was like, love language. I'm like, what's that? She said, you never heard of that?
Thank God for your wife.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And so it made sense. And so And when you go out and you start to observe and be more observant, in tune with your mate or in tune with yourself, you really start to see and understand what your language is and what is the what you need to sustain a relationship. Like my wife, her love language quality time. That she loves. No matter what we're doing, we can be sitting there watching one of our we got shows that we like to watch on TV all the time. So Netflix, TLC, all that stuff.
Yes.
But we can sit there and be watching that, and she gets satisfaction in it.
Absolutely.
Me in the beginning, I'm like, okay, well, babe, we can go book this hotel, we can go out of town and stuff like
Not
this.
necessary.
Now the out of town part, she loves to travel, and she can go do that at the drop of a dime. But me, I'm like, man, we can go do this 5-star dinner. I'm gonna go get you this gift and stuff like that. And then she's like, oh, this is beautiful. I love it. But I'm sitting there like, okay, you didn't like it, you didn't have fun.
But
I'm like, she said, no, I love it, but I just want to spend time with you. And so that clicked on me. And so all she wants is my time.
That's right.
And that's valuable to her. And so she know that my love language is affirmation. I just like to.
Like most men.
That's just me.
Yes.
I like to say, baby, you look nice today. Baby, you wearing that suit.
Yes.
Baby, you look good at that vest.
Stroke that ego, Ashley. Stroke that ego.
I'm sitting up here like, you better watch out. You know, that's
right.
But that's me being in tune with myself. And
Absolutely.
that's her validating me and being in tune with what my love language is.
And that's amazing because when you understand the love language, your relationship goes to a whole nother level.
Exactly. It helps you to get in tune, not only with yourself, but in tune with your partner. Because the thing is that if relationships are not easy, marriage is not easy, it's a lot of work. You know, so if you can get in tune with each other to really where you can actually climb those levels, because you know, the thing is, the enemy, he's against marriage. He's against monogamy and things of that nature. So if you guys can forge that bond where you're in tune with each other, where no one can actually get inside of that bond and be in tune with each other, you guys can overcome anything.
Wow. What advice would you give to singles that are dating in this day and time?
Date according to your purpose.
Oh, I love it.
The reason why I say that is because now if you're not serious about your dating life or finding love or your relationships or just you, period, don't listen to nothing I'm saying. But if you're serious about it, date according to your purpose, because it's people that are specifically sent to distract you.
Absolutely.
And so if you're not in tune with yourself or you have not done the work on yourself, you'll fall for those distractions and you'll constantly be starting over. Great thing that we serve a merciful God, that he forgives us all the time. But the thing is that when you get serious, you got to date according to your purpose. Someone that can add value to you.
Yes.
You know, get to the point of loving yourself, making love to yourself, not literally, but just getting to the point of appreciating you. Because if you appreciate yourself and love yourself, that sign that's on your head that used to say damage, it falls down.
I love how you said that it falls down, because there's some divorcees that are watching right now. And of course, I was married for 15 years, so I'm happily divorced. Thank you, Jesus. Glory be to God. You know, but it's one of those things where after I divorced, I found my purpose. Because while I was in the marriage, I lost myself. I was lost because I was serving and taking care of the husband, the children, and the house to the place where I did not know what my purpose was. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is.
And so God allowed some things to happen, and I began to say, okay, God, okay, what's next for me? Okay, my children have passed away. I had 2 boys who passed away, went through the divorce, and then went through a state of depression for about a minute or so. Then I got myself together. Thank God for my daughter, Trinity. She saved me. I love you, Trinity. But it was during those times that I had to search myself to find my purpose. And so now I'm, you know, in the place where people, and I'm sure some women's like, I know what you're talking about, Tam. Inbox, DM, good morning, beautiful.
How
and I
you
just
doing?
look like, really? Delete, because they come as a distraction to you.
And so it's one of those things where when you're in tune with who you are, and you've done the work on yourself. It's like now your heightened sense of awareness of just the bull is, and excuse me language, but it's just real.
It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. What you tolerated 15, 20 years ago.
It's unacceptable.
It's not tolerable in your new season, you know.
And you cannot compromise. Do you see a lot of people compromising just to say I'm married?
Yeah. Well, not even just say that I'm married, but just say that, okay, well, I got a warm body next to me. You know, there's a lot of people that's in these marriages, or not marriages, but just relationships that are committing before the actual commitment.
My God.
You know, they want to sign deeds together and things like that, but you don't have the actual commitment.
Right.
You know, you're doing all this stuff that married people do, but you don't have the actual commitment.
What's your words of wisdom for someone? You know, in Mississippi, they say shacking.
Yeah.
You know, that's the term.
Okay.
But I learned, because I had to share this with some women that I was mentoring. I said, you know, there's no common law marriage in Mississippi. So if he loves you enough to house you, why not marry you?
Exactly.
And so she could not wrap her mind around that. And I was just like, I can't understand that. Yeah. If you are a Christian, why not follow the rules of what has been placed before you?
Most definitely.
You know, so what is your words of wisdom in regards to that situation?
Well, with me and my wife, I love talking about our story. Our situation is different. So when I moved from Memphis to Middle Tennessee or whatever, it was one of those things where I said, okay, well, you know, family, we don't believe in shacking. So and her family didn't either. So I said, hey, I'm going to come up there. You already got a spot up there. I'm going to stay for maybe a month and I'll find a spot. But the thing is that what I noticed is that when I got there, things changed. I'm going to tell you how it changed. Is that I already knew that was who I was going to spend the rest of my life with.
You knew that.
I knew that.
Right.
And so, but the thing is that I wasn't, in my mind, I wasn't in a position of saying like, okay, well, I want to have the house. I want to have this. I want to have, before I can give this to her. Right. But my thing is that if I came up there, we stayed together. It was already on my conscience and stuff like that. And I already knew, and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna marry this woman. And so what was supposed to be a month, 3 months, led into like, what, 8, 9 years now?
Wow.
And so it's the thing is that, you know,
wow, God, wow.
I'll tell people, man, when you get to the point of doing the work on yourself, you'll be able to decipher good judgment. You know, and if I wouldn't have done the work on myself and been able to get to the point of being comfortable with myself, then I would have still been a disadvantage to her. And said like, okay, well, yeah, we still stay together, but I'm not ready right now. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 years would have went down the road. Right. But it's one of those things you got to jump. You know, like I said, man, we know, but it's like we always have to have this stuff that goes in it. You know, does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. How do you reinvent yourself? For somebody that's watching, that's like, I want to reinvent this man that I see in the mirror. How do I reinvent myself so that I can place my past to the side and become someone new to walk in my purpose?
So I'll say that is you have to affirm yourself, because when you're in a position of reinventing, people will only know you for your past.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that means that every time they see you, they only bring up your past. So, and I've been in that situation before, and it wasn't until I started reaffirming myself, speaking those words of affirmation, positivity to myself, where me and my subconscious, now I believe what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And it's like, now nobody could tell me different. And so when you start speaking those positive things to yourself, I am this, I'm a man of God, I'm triumph, I'm above and not beneath.
Yes.
You start walking into it, because now you're telling yourself that. And you're looking at the man in the mirror, the image and likeness of God.
And it becomes life, a man of value.
Yeah. So thoughts are things, they manifest into reality. So if you can think it here, it can manifest.
Well, I love you. God bless you. And remember, stay safe,